What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Let's Talk Without Tech. As always, I am your host Kenny, and with me today is our colorful friend, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So in this video, we're gonna be analyzing in depth if our friend here is still worth the buck. So stick around, it's gonna be exciting. So we're gonna be discussing the price, the design, the performance, the cameras, and see if these specs still keep up with the specs of the latest devices out there. So let's get the price out of the way first. So as you already knew, when this baby came out in 2019, she wasn't for the faint-hearted. She was crazy expensive, tipping the 1K mark. But there's been a lot of price drops since then. Right now you can get her on eBay for slightly under $500 US. That price tag alone puts her in the mid-range category. So keep that in mind as we proceed in this video. Next order of business, the design. Let's talk about the choice of materials. So the Note 10 Plus is made up of glass from front to back. It's not uncommon for it to slip out of your hands or pocket from time to time. The all-glass design means there is very little grip on this device, and the all-glass at the back allows it to wirelessly charge and also to attract fingerprints. I think the Note 10 Plus still has the crown for the best fingerprint attracting device out there, if that's a thing. Most latest devices have solved this problem by using a matte back surface, but matte back surfaces, however, remove the option of this rainbow effect. But I'm sure you can all agree it's for the best, unless if you are really into this. But come on, problems like these can be solved by a case, like the one that I have here with this ArtScout design. But the case reduces the bezel-less interface experience. I highly recommend you put a skin on it. The skin ticks all the right boxes. Let's move on to the screen. So this is 6.8 inches diagonal, which is huge like most devices out there in this price bracket. But what gives this device an edge is how well they executed the edge. See what I did there? Most brands have edge devices, but the edge on the Note 10 Plus is still superior in my opinion. It's rare for you to do any accidental touches on this device. For almost every latest smartphone out there, there is a notch or a hole cutout in this case. This hole cutout is insignificantly small, meaning when you're looking at this screen, it will look pretty much up to date with the latest micro-range devices out there, or even better. Another point to note is that the Note 10 Plus is Quad HD certified, meaning the display will be very crisp, most likely crispier than most of today's micro-range devices. Well, since you're still here, it means you're enjoying this content. Kindly drop this video a like, it really helps a lot in the YouTube algorithm. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to this dope tech channel. Alright, back to the video. So all around, the Note 10 Plus in terms of design, it really keeps up with the micro-range smartphones out there. Except for the fact that it is slippery and hard to keep clean, it is a well-built smartphone with the bonus of a stylus that almost no one ever uses, but it's there if you want to flex with it, or if you're one of those rare people who actually use it. Most other smartphones do not have it, so I guess it's an advantage to a small extent. Now let's talk about the performance. So here are the specs on the screen. She has up to 512 gigabytes of storage, which is kind of a standard nowadays. Then up to 12 gigabytes of RAM, so multitasking is a breeze here. She's using Snapdragon 855, which has been outdated for a while now, but believe me, she ain't slow. For all people out there who don't use any heavy software, this won't affect you at all. And to all gamers out there, I bet she can play any game that you have in maximum settings without any glitches. And it's rare to find a mid-range device that has a better processor than this one, so there is that too. She's packing a huge 4300 mAh battery, which is huge, but so is the phone. You'll be able to get about 4+ hours on this device, but there are some tricks that you can do to get more hours. You can use dark mode. Since this is AMOLED LED, you can get a few more minutes with it. And also you can downgrade from Quad HD to Full HD or even to Standard HD. But in doing so, you'll be sacrificing great quality. It all depends on your personal preferences though. If you're on team time or if you're on team quality. If I wasn't clear, I'm on team quality. Then again, almost all micro-range devices can do this as well, and some are even better than here. So it's kind of hard to distinguish here from this crowd in these specs. There are some downsides in this device, like the refresh rate. The Note 10 Plus uses 60 GHz refresh rate, which is very slow, especially when you have used the 90 or 120 GHz. You will notice this. Samsung wasn't able to make their 60 GHz as fluent as Apple did. but that's just the geek in me talking. Most people won't even notice it, but there is a small percentage out there that will, so I hate to mention it. So since this one uses 60 gigahertz, there are some options for $500 where you can get 90 hertz, but probably won't get 120, but you can get 90 hertz. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I'm sure there are other options for 90 hertz. Also, there is an on-screen fingerprint sensor, and it has a noticeable time frame before unlocking. There is a small time before unlocking, like you have to wait just about a half a second before you can actually browse through the UI. And it's not a big deal though, but it's $500 phone, so we have to talk about these little minor details. Now let's go to the cameras. Now for the main course of this meal, the cameras. For most people, this is the main selling point. I mean, social media needs some good snaps, am I right? And these cameras, well, these cameras are still great. They are still very, very good. Since this is a Note 10 Plus, the Plus is for an additional camera, making a total of 4 cameras. And they did not just double these other cameras for sure, like most micro-range devices out there. They are actually fantastic cameras. So you have a quad camera setup at the back. That's the 60 megapixel ultra wide lens, aka the main camera. Is a very good camera, one of the best in this price tag. And that's the 12 megapixel wide angle, aka the zooming out lens. It's also great, and it's not one of those additional useless cameras that other companies put. And that's the 12 megapixel telephoto, aka the zooming in lens. It's also great, and there is the 3 megapixel depth sensor, aka the 3D Mac. This is just a gimmick, so I'm not going to go into depth with it, but if you're into it, it's there and it's great. And the selfie camera is fantastic too. Overall, these are great cameras. They are great in video production with great stabilization, which does not lose any significant quality when in effect. And the bokeh effect is also dope. Most phones do not have this great useful feature, especially the ones in this price tag. And also, you can use the stylus to maneuver through the camera's features, which needs a learning curve, but it's nothing too hectic. I'm not the kind of guy who uses a stylus, unfortunately, but I can imagine a few instances where it might be useful to some people, like shooting a video or taking a team selfie. Wow, seems like I don't have any negative opinion on these cameras. Just kidding, I do. They have this tendency of brightening and glistening pictures. Let's take this for example. Look at him on the side and on the photo. He is way shiner and brightened on the side, but it's nothing a little editing can fix. In conclusion, I think this device is a great value for money, and it's also pleasant to look at. The specs are very competitive with the other mid-range devices. Then again, it's a device that came out in 2019. I got a question for you. What do you prefer, an outdated flagship device or the latest mid-range device? Leave your comments on the comment section down below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. You made it to the end. I really appreciate that. Double check that to subscribe and like this video. Hope to see you soon. I'm off.